Imagine an emperor who made his horse a senator. Yes, you heard it right, a horse. Welcome to the world of Caligula. The Roman Empire has seen its fair share of eccentric rulers, but none quite as mad as Gaius Julius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, better known as Caligula. Born into the heart of political power, Caligula's reign was one that would be remembered for its sheer lunacy and extravagance. Now let's talk about that horse, shall we? Incitatus was no ordinary steed. In Caligula's eyes, this horse was the epitome of grace and virtue, a creature of such stature that it deserved a marble stable, a house, furniture, and even a dedicated group of servants. But Caligula didn't stop there. He took his adoration a step further, giving Incitatus a place in the Roman Senate. Yes, that's right. The horse was a senator. That's like your pet goldfish running for president. But the madness didn't end at his horse. Caligula was also known for his delusions of grandeur. He often declared himself a god, demanding worship from his subjects. He ordered statues of himself to be erected across the empire, replacing the heads of various gods with his own. And let's not forget his spending. Oh, the spending. Caligula was infamous for his love of luxury, often throwing lavish parties that would put today's billionaires to shame. He built extravagant palaces, commissioned elaborate artworks, and even constructed a 2-mile-long floating bridge across the Bay of Baiae, just because he could. In the end, Caligula's reign was cut short by those fed up with his antics, but his legacy of madness lives on. His story serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the madness that can unfold when an emperor loses touch with reality. Caligula's reign, though short, left a lasting impression of insanity on the Roman Empire. Now let's turn our attention to Nero, an emperor who played a fiddle while Rome burned. In the annals of Roman history, Nero Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, or simply Nero, is a figure who undoubtedly stands out. Ascending to the throne at a tender age of 17, he was the youngest man to hold the title of emperor. But his reign was far from ordinary. Nero was a man of the arts, passionate about music, poetry, and theatre, often prioritizing these over matters of state. You'd think an emperor would have his hands full with governance, but not Nero. He was more likely to be found strumming a lyre than wielding a scepter. His love for the arts was so profound that he even participated in the Olympic Games as a charioteer, much to the astonishment of his contemporaries. But Nero's artistic pursuits weren't his only eccentricities. He was known for his ruthless persecution of Christians, a fact that has cast a long dark shadow on his legacy. Nero blamed this religious minority for the Great Fire of Rome, an incident that destroyed much of the city. However, many believe that it was Nero himself who orchestrated this disaster to make room for his ambitious architectural project, the Domus Aurea. Nero's rule was a cacophony of art, extravagance, and persecution. His obsession with arts and music, coupled with his neglect of governance, his brutal reign of terror against Christians, and his rumoured involvement in the Great Fire of Rome, made him a notorious figure. His reign was a symphony of debauchery and decadence that resonated throughout the empire. Nero's rule ended in tragedy. After a tumultuous 13-year reign, he was declared a public enemy by the Senate. With nowhere to run, Nero chose to take his own life, uttering the words, "What an artist dies in me." Nero, the artist emperor, certainly played a unique tune during his reign. Finally, we meet Commodus, the emperor who fancied himself Hercules reincarnated. Ascending to the throne in the year 180, Commodus was a stark departure from his father, the philosopher king Marcus Aurelius. While his father sought wisdom, Commodus sought spectacle. Obsessed with gladiatorial games, Commodus was known to participate in them himself. He fashioned himself the embodiment of Hercules, the demigod known for his immense strength. Commodus was so taken with this image that he commissioned statues of himself dressed as Hercules, with a lion's skin draped over his shoulders and a club in his hand. The spectacle didn't end there. He was known to fight exotic animals in the arena, and he never lost. Of course, the odds were always in his favor. It's said that he once killed 100 lions in a single day. His obsession with spectacle bled into his rule. He renamed the city of Rome to Colonia Commodiana, meaning the colony of Commodus. This was a drastic move, as Rome was the heart of the empire, a symbol of its strength and longevity. But for Commodus, it was just another prop in his grand spectacle. His lifestyle was as extravagant as his games. He lived in opulence, often adorned in clothes made of gold and precious gems. His palace was said to be filled with statues and artwork made of pure gold. He was an emperor who lived and ruled in excess. But Commodus's reign was not just golden in name, but also in his outrageous behavior. His obsession with spectacle, his renaming of Rome, and his extravagant lifestyle all contribute to his place in history as one of the craziest Roman emperors. His rule was a spectacle of its own, a spectacle that ended with his assassination in the year 192. The Golden Emperor's reign was nothing short of extraordinary, and his legacy continues to fascinate us today. These three emperors highlight the madness that power can bring. Indeed, our exploration into the eccentricities of Roman emperors paints a vivid picture of the intoxicating and often destabilizing effects of unchecked authority. Let's take a step back and examine the commonalities among our unhinged trio. Extravagance, for one, is a recurring theme. These emperors, with the vast wealth of Rome at their disposal, indulged in grandiose displays of opulence. The Golden House of Nero, Caligula's pleasure barges, and Elagabalus's lavish feasts. These are not the acts of modest men, but the whims of power-drunk individuals who believed their authority to be limitless. But extravagance was not their only vice. Each of these emperors showed a clear neglect of governance. They prioritized their personal desires over the welfare of their subjects. Rome, the heart of a vast empire, was left to languish as the emperors indulged in their personal pursuits. Nero's fiddling while Rome burned, Caligula's military escapades, and Elagabalus's religious eccentricities. All these point to leaders more engrossed in their own interests than in the responsibilities of their office. And then, of course, there is the madness. Each emperor displayed a unique brand of insanity, but all were a product of unchecked power. Caligula's belief in his own divinity, Nero's delusions of artistic grandeur, and Elagabalus's obsession with mysticism, these are not the quirks of ordinary men, but the manifestations of minds warped by power. From a senatorial horse, a fiddling artist, to a self-proclaimed Hercules, the Roman Empire certainly had its share of eccentric rulers. Their reigns, marked by excess and neglect, serve as chilling reminders of the madness that power can bring when left unchecked. Their stories are not merely historical curiosities, but cautionary tales that resonate even in our modern world. So there you have it, three of the craziest Roman emperors. We've journeyed through the corridors of time, traversed the marbled halls of Roman palaces, and glimpsed into the lives of these eccentric leaders. Each one, in their own unique way, has left an indelible mark on the canvas of history. We began with the maddest of emperors, whose reign was a bewildering spectacle of absurdity and extravagance. His capricious antics and unpredictable behavior kept Rome on its toes, leaving us with stories that continue to astound us today. Next, we ventured into the world of the Emperor of Debauchery, a ruler whose notorious indulgences and lavish lifestyle were legendary. His exploits, filled with scandal and excess, showed us a side of Roman history that's as shocking as it is compelling. Our final stop was the Golden Emperor, a ruler whose love for all things gold was as grand as the empire he ruled. Despite his eccentricities, his reign was a golden era of prosperity and architectural grandeur, leaving a glittering legacy that still shines today. Each of these emperors, with their distinct quirks and unique eccentricities, have given us a fascinating glimpse into the world of ancient Rome. Their stories, as crazy and outlandish as they may seem, serve as a captivating reminder of the unpredictable nature of power and the enduring legacy of the Roman Empire. But our journey doesn't end here. There are countless more stories to discover, more eccentric emperors to explore, and more tales of power, madness, and extravagance to unravel. This is the beauty of history, the endless layers of the past waiting to be peeled back and explored. Remember to like and subscribe for more fascinating dives into history. Stay curious and keep exploring the past.